Dear students, in this session, we shall discuss about uh, meaning and importance of diagrams. So, diagram it is a statistical tool which is used for representing or for presenting statistical informations. So diagram it is a widely used the method of presenting statistical the data. So here a diagram is a visual forum for presenting statistical data for highlighting the basic facts and relationship which are inherent in the data. So the diagrammatic presentation is more understandable and it is appreciated by everyone. So everyone appreciates this type of the statistical the tool or the technique or the method, and which is widely used this type of statistical the tool. And this method of the presentation is more understandable, and it attracts the attention, and it is a quicker way of grasping the results, saving the time, and it is very much required particularly in presenting qualitative data. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಡಾಟಾವನ್ನ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ the tool, and which is used for presenting the statistical the informations, and it is widely used, and it attracts the attention, and it is a quicker way of grasping the results, saving the time. uh, Now the importance of diagram. So importance of a diagram, and here the utility and importance of diagrams will become clear from the following points. So here the importance of diagrams can be understood by referring some of the points. So it attractive and effective means of presentation. So this is one type of the importance of diagram. So diagram which attracts, and it is very effectively the presentation of the statistical the data, and beautiful lines and full of various colors signs, which attracts the human sight, and it does not strain the mind of the observer, and a common man who does not wish to indulge in figures get message from a well prepared diagram. So, and another the importance of diagram is that it make data simple and understandable. So it makes data simple and understandable. This is another uh, type of the importance of the diagrams. So the mass of complex data when prepared through diagram can be understood easily, and according to Sri Moran, diagrams help us to understand the complete the meaning of a complex numerical situation at one site only. So diagrams are huge informations, and ನಾವು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ that helps us to understand clearly, easily, and even non-mathematical person can also be easily understood diagrams. By referring diagrams, the statistical data can be understood by everyone. Mathematical and non-mathematical person can also be able to understand. Now facilitate comparison. So facilitate comparison, another importance of diagrams. So diagrams make comparison possible between two sets of data of different points, regions, or other facts by putting side by side through diagrammatic presentation. So here, in diagrams, we can comparison is possible. So we can compare one set of data to another set of data easily by showing, by putting side by side through diagrammatic presentation. So compare ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೇಟಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡುವುದು. ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡುವುದರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ. So comparison is possible in diagrams. So by comparing one set of data to another set of data, we can able to understand clearly the statistical the data, and we can take the actions, or we can take the decisions for future, for the development of the business organization. Now, save time and energy. Save time and energy, another the importance of diagrams. So the data which will take hours to understand becomes clear, and by just having a look at total facts represented through diagrams. So it saves the time. It saves time as well as the energy uh, through referring uh, by referring the uh, diagrams. So it saves the time and it saves the energy by referring, just by looking, or just having a look at total facts which are represented through diagrams. And universal utility. So universal utility, this is another the importance of diagram. So universal utility, so because of its merits, uses the importance, so the diagrams which are used for presentation of the statistical data in different areas. So in different areas, we can use the statistical the tool, like diagrams, for easily understand, and for getting and taking the necessitated decisions, and framing various policies. And it is widely used technique in economic, business administration, social, and other areas. So therefore it is universal applicability, and it is universal utility. So helpful in information and communication. So information communication, another the kind of the importance of diagram. So a diagram depicts more information than the data which is shown in a table. So information concerning data to general public becomes more easy through diagrams, and gets into the mind of a person with ordinary knowledge. So it helps to helpful it helps in information communication. So we can understand clearly by just by referring, and just by seeing the diagrams, we can communicate one person to another person, and we can send the informations from one department to another department, and we can translate, or we can send, and uh, uh, we can take the actions just by taking into account, or just by taking the informations through the diagrams. So therefore it helpful in information communication. So it is used much widely. So all the people all the people are using the diagrams for taking the necessitated one decisions, and it is widely used, the method of the statistical tool than the statistical the table. So therefore these are the various the importance of diagrams. Now, merits and demerits. So here we can point out some merits and demerits of diagrams by observing and by just understanding the importance of diagrams. So the first merit of the diagram is that most of the people are attracted by diagrams, and technical knowledge or education is not necessary. Time and effort required are very less, and diagrams show the data in proper perspective, and diagrams leave a lasting impression, and language is not a barrier, and tool widely used tool. So these are the various the merits of the diagrams, various the merits of the diagrams. Now, demerits or the limitations of diagrams. So the demerits or limitations of a diagram or diagrams or approximations. Minute differences in values cannot be represented properly in diagrams, and large differences in values spoil the look of the diagram, and some of the diagrams can be drawn by experts only. So like pie chart, so only the experts can able to draw the diagrams like a pie chart, and other people may not be uh, possible to draw the diagrams, and may not be known. Some only the experts can able to draw, and other may not be known the diagrams easily, and they may not be understood clearly. So therefore large differences in values spoil the look of the diagram, and minute differences in values cannot be represented properly in diagrams, and diagrams are approximations, and different scales portray different pictures to laymen. So therefore these are some of the demerits or the limitations of diagrams. Now, general rules for constructing diagrams. So what are the general rules uh, to be observed for, or what are the general rules are necessitated for constructing diagrams? So the general rules should be observed while constructing diagrams, or the first one, the title. So title is the first general rule which is used for constructing diagram. So every diagram must be given a suitable title. The title should be convey in as few words as possible the main idea that diagrams intend to portray. So therefore every diagram must be given a suitable title. The title may be given either at the top of the diagram or below the diagram. Now, proportion between width and height. Proportion between width and height. So here a proper proportion between height and width of the diagram should be maintained. Proper proportion between width and height and width of the diagram should be maintained, and if either the height and width is too short or too long in proportion, so the diagram would give an ugly look. So therefore proportion should be maintained. Proportion in between width and height should be maintained, and should be maintained. So therefore the therefore uh, uh, if there are two differences, or if there are um, or huge differences in between width and height, it may not be shown, and uh, and modifications may or no doubt be made to accommodate a diagram in a space available. So therefore there should be a proportion between width and height should be uh, maintained, a proper proportion between height and width of the diagram should be maintained. So if it is too short or if it is too long in proportion, so the diagram would give an ugly look. And selection of scale, so proper scale should be taken into account. So proper scale, selection of scale, this is another another general rule which is necessitated for constructing diagrams. Another general rule which is to be maintained, and which is taken into account. So proper scale should be taken into account for constructing diagrams. So scale showing the values may be in even numbers or in multiples of 5 or 10. So example 25, 50, 75, or 20, 40, 60, and add values like 1357 may be avoided. So therefore proper selection of the scale should be taken for constructing diagrams. And footnotes, so footnotes, another general rule for constructing diagrams. And here, in order to clarify certain points about the diagram, footnote may be given at the bottom of the diagram. And an index illustrating different types of lines or different shades and different colors should be given, so that the reader can easily make out the meaning of the diagram. And neatness and cleanliness, so this is another the general rule for constructing diagram. And here there should be a neatness and cleanliness uh, uh, constructing diagram, and diagrams should be absolutely neat and clean. And now the another general rule is that simplicity. So simplicity is another type of the general rule. And here diagrams should be as simple as possible, so that the can reader can able to understand their meaning clearly and easily. And for the sake of simplicity, it is important that too much material should not be loaded in a single diagram. So otherwise it may become too confusing and prove worthless. So several simple charts are often better and more effective than one or two complex ones, which may present the same material in a confusing way. So therefore simplicity should be maintained for constructing diagrams, and it should be as simple as possible, so that the reader can able to understand their meaning clearly and easily. And so therefore these are some of the important general rules for constructing diagrams. And while constructing diagrams, the statistical investigator or statisticians should keep in mind while constructing diagrams. Uh, so these general rules are the important for constructing diagrams. And uh, observing and when keeping these points in mind, so the diagrams can be uh, can be uh, can be constructed, can be the diagrams can be constructed and that can be easily understood by other people.